Hello, welcome back. So, today was an okay day, but before I talk about today, I am going to talk about what just about everyone has been talking about the last 24 hours, or maybe less than 24 hours, 12 hours, I don't know. Anyway, that would be net neutrality, because I noticed that the video that I made, what was it? I think it was titled something like What to Do If Net Neutrality is Gone. I've noticed that that video has been getting a lot more views recently, so I've decided to talk about it. Basically, yeah, unfortunately today net neutrality was repealed, but that's not the end of it. The was it? I read about a lawsuit that many of the states are doing against the FCC, basically bringing a lawsuit against the, was it Federal something Commission? I don't know. I don't actually know what FCC stands for anyway. I just know that many of the states are bringing a lawsuit against the FCC, so the fight isn't over yet. And I do my best to stay optimistic, cautiously optimistic. But I always plan in case things go wrong. Of course, in my video where I talk about what to do if net neutrality is gone, I mentioned that I would no longer be using the internet for the most part. Now, I'm not going to start doing this now. The only time I would ever start doing that is if my internet speeds actually get throttled. Then I would stop paying for internet. I would go to McDonald's or somewhere that has Wi-Fi, somewhere public, and use the internet there. Because unfortunately, I'm a busy guy. Right now, I don't even use the internet that much compared to most people because I'm so busy. I just don't get the time. I wish I did. Anyway, I won't be doing that, but I'm glad that the fight's not over yet. We can still somehow turn this around, and I'm very optimistic that we can. Now, I have a prediction in the event that we cannot turn this around, and in the event that internet speeds do get throttled. Now, I don't know if you have seen my video on my main channel, Scario1, The Future of America, perhaps. That's the title of it. But in that video, people who know me don't believe that both those voices are me, but they are. But in that video, basically, I predict what will happen to America, possibly, and it's not very good. I mean, the video is somewhat good, but the prediction of what will happen isn't optimistic. It's very pessimistic. But unfortunately, part of it has come true, the repealing of net neutrality. And there's more predictions in there. One of them that I'm going to elaborate on now is the market, was the internet and the market, because unfortunately none of us like to think about it, but the internet and the market both are kind of intertwined in a way. If we can't reverse the repealing of net neutrality and ISP companies do throttle internets, they do throttle internet speeds, then what I predict will happen is, unfortunately, there will, of course, I'm not a market expert, but I think what will happen is that the technology sector of the market will decline. Could be quickly, could be slowly. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an expert on the market. But there's so many technologies these days that rely on the internet. And if we can't rely on the internet itself, then what's to say that anyone will have any faith in any of the technology sectors? Like Google is pretty much completely internet. So Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, all those things, course, a lot of those are social media, but even things that aren't social media rely on the internet, like Amazon, eBay, and Netflix, video streaming services and stuff like that. And unfortunately, was it throttling internet speeds? If every ISP does that, it could possibly make the technology sector crash and maybe even make the whole market crash. Of course, I'm no expert, so take what I say with a grain of salt, because it may or may not happen. You never know. But hopefully, we don't even have to worry about that. Hopefully, we can, hopefully we can reverse the repealing of net neutrality. Hopefully. Okay, what else was I going to say? But yeah, that's my prediction. I mean, a lot of people that I know tend to think the market's going to crash at some point anyway. But yeah, a lot of people tend to think it's only a matter of time. And hopefully it's not because of net neutrality. Oh, not remember what I was going to say. Basically, if every ISP except for one were to throttle their internet speeds, that could possibly create a disastrous scenario where everyone moves over to that one ISP who's not throttling the internet. Then all the other companies die. And then that one company that has pretty much all of the consumers becomes a monopoly. That is something that if we cannot reverse the repealing of net neutrality, that we have to be careful of. Of course, if they did that, that could also possibly lead to that monopoly failing and the internet completely dying. That would be an interesting scenario, but I don't think that'll happen. Of course, the monopoly would be much worse than the entire internet dying, in my opinion. Anyway, today, most people haven't liked today's news. Neither have I. So, I'm done talking about net neutrality. How my day has been, as the Vlogmas number 3 this is, and the 13th day, 14th, 15th, I don't remember, 14th I think. Basically how my day has been is I went back to Rite Aid, got my fiance's medication, that's all gone well, did some chores that I needed to do, so I was able to get more done than I was originally planning, which is good. And when it comes to my life, today I've been having a very positive look on it, because my hours for my job have increased, which is good. And there is more I'd like to talk about, but we're already at 8 minutes. But tomorrow I'd like to talk about my caregiving job. Because when you really think about it, it's kind of interesting in a way. The way caregiving is set up. Mine specifically. But yeah. You notice that this is the background that I usually use. That's because I wanted to make it look kind of like my other thumbnails, but I don't have time to edit in a thumbnail. So I cleared out a small amount of space. I'm very uncomfortable right now because I can't move my feet or hardly any part of my body. But my office isn't cleaned up yet, unfortunately. Anyway, I have things I gotta go do before the night ends, even though it's 1 a.m. Hope your day was well. Hope you're having a good, happy holidays. And I'll see you tomorrow.